Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming back to The Other Side of Music. Today, we are excited to interview Piper and the Hard Times. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey,
Hey,
Robin.
hey,
Hello,
Robin, how are
Robin.
you?
We're good.
Good, good. So, introduce yourself to all of us.
All right. I am Dave Kalila. I'm the drummer.
And I'm Piper. I'm the singer.
Okay.
And I'm Steve, and I'm the guitar player.
Just
Okay.
Steve.
Just Steve.
But we all have
We have
we all have
nicknames.
nicknames.
You want to
Okay.
know his? You want to know
Sure.
his?
So this is Sexy Boy,
Okay.
which is the drummer.
Mr. Sexy
Mr.
Boy.
Sexy
Mr.
Boy.
Sexy Boy.
Oh.
This is the conductor,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I go by Piper.
And Piper nicknames everybody, so I just
Yeah,
wanted the world to know I didn't call myself Mr. Sexy
yeah. Sure he did. Sure he did.
That's pretty funny. So, I have done my research on you guys, as I do, and I have seen that you guys you've won awards, the Blues Festival, the what is it, the Blues Trifecta.
Yeah.
Um, you have a lot of shows lined up. I've seen on your website. So tell us your story. How did you? When did you guys start?
100 years ago, almost.
Okay, you guys
It
met
feels
in
like
like
that.
Yeah.
caveman times.
No, so I'm from Ohio, Northern Ohio originally, and I moved to Nashville in 1999 to pursue a music career, playing guitar and writing songs and things. And as you do when you move to Nashville, you go out to jam nights because you have to start networking and building your network and so forth. And so as I was hitting all the different jam nights around town, I went into this blues club in downtown Nashville called Bourbon Street Blues and Boogie Bar, which is a legendary place. And I went in, and there was a house band that was playing one night, and um, this guy right here, Piper, gets up on stage. He was asked to sit in, and I was sitting down in the audience, and he gets up on stage and he starts to sing. And the first thing he did was took over the audience. So the band that had him come up there said never again, because he just stole the show. But I heard this big old bluesy old school voice and saw this charisma, and I thought I need to play with that guy because I'm not a singer, and I came to town. I had written some songs and knew my way around the guitar, and I thought I need to get to know this guy and see if there might be something there. And um, I asked him if he was playing in a band or with anybody, and I'll let you take it from there, Piper.
Well, basically, thank you, Steve, the conductor. But basically, he came and asked me if I was signed with anyone, which I wasn't. I was fresh. I was new, not so much as new to town, but new on the scene in a sense. And make a long story short, I told Steve I was excited to work with him. And next thing I know, this is where Mr. Sexy Boy come in because Steve reached out to Dave because he had already met Dave. So he
Oh,
reached out to Dave and basically put the rest of the band members around us. And I was invited over to Dave's house one day to basically see what I got, to see how it was going to work out. So now you go.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
remember that first gig or like that first practice pretty well.
Yeah.
Well,
We,
I don't. Yeah, I remember the feeling. I don't remember exactly how it went. My memory's not the best, but I do remember absolutely thinking once we started playing that we were just jamming on some covers and stuff. And once he started doing his thing, I do remember thinking like, this is really good. This
oh,
could be
okay.
really good. So it was exciting right away. And then we ended up playing for, I don't know, 8 or 10 years, maybe 8, 7, 8 years. And then we took some time off, just sort of organically. Nothing was really spoken about. These guys were raising kids, and life kind of took everybody in their different places. And
Hmm.
then after about maybe 5, 6 years, something like that,
yeah.
Piper called me out of the blue one day. What are you doing? I said, oh, I'm at the house, blah, blah, blah. What do you mean? He's like, well, are you still playing? I said, yeah, of course I'm still playing. He's like, well, what about Steve? Is he still playing? I said, I don't know. I haven't talked to Steve in a long time. And so he said, well, I got this gig, and the guys I'm playing with are kind of wearing me out, and I want to see if you guys want to do the gig. And so we played we said, sure, first gig back, just kind of went in and hit it hard. It was an event here in Nashville, which was attended by probably a lot more people than we might have liked for the first gig back after many years. Because, we just went at it,
We went at it cold turkey.
yeah, no rehearsal,
It was no
Wow.
rehearsal.
Okay.
go
Yeah.
get it,
Yeah, but I had, but not to cut Dave off, I had
Yeah.
all faith in our group, in our band, that they was going to go ahead and kill it, because I knew what I left, and I knew if I was getting the whole band back together, that they was going to do what they supposed to do, regardless if it was get in the garage and go for it and practice or whatever. They was going to do what needs to be done. Because this gig that I had scheduled was it was at the Frisch Center, and basically they're based around art music, so they're based around true original music.
I,
So we had a bunch of original music that had never been played in reality, and I gave it to the other band to learn, and they didn't learn it. So I'm like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to go through the stress. I'm not. I'm not going to turn the gig down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a phone call, and I
that-
made a phone call.
and that was easily a decade ago, I think. And so since then, some of the things you mentioned was, the IBC win in Memphis, the International Blues Challenge, and that was a year ago, January, and that really kind of slingshotted us to a lot of the other stuff that has happened.
This has happened now, yeah.
There was one thing that was evident to the three of us when we started playing, early, like right away, was that I feel like we're leaving out a little bit, which is, writing. When you live in a town like Nashville, that is like the songwriting capital of the world, there are probably as many songwriters as there are musicians in this town. And if you're going to write, you're held to a very high standard. And there was a chemistry. I came in with some songs that I had written to where I was living before. But this guy, when Piper and I started writing together, there was a chemistry there right away. And so that was something we learned very early on. We put out a couple demo CDs, two, and I think like 2 or 3 years, that we were, didn't really have any hopes of doing much with it, trying to get a record deal, but it allowed us to sell some things at shows. And so we had this ability to craft blues, rock, R&B type songs. He would come up with lyrics, and I would come up with the song hooks or the guitar hooks, and Dave would help with the arrangements, and that was something we had going for us right away. And we realized we weren't just going to be a cover band. And this band has never really been strictly 100% cover band. We've always had confidence and faith in our originals, and we've seen how the crowd has reacted to our original music, where they react to it just like they would a Joe Cocker, B.B. King song, or anything in between. So we've always kind of relied on that and gone that way.
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Just kind of supposed to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, and stuff still does.
it's still same. It's
Yeah.
still to this day, it's the same way, because everybody plays their part. No one tries to take no more than what they should or whatever. Everyone plays their role and plays their part. So when Dave chimes in and give us his thoughts about how we should structure this song,
We don't listen to it.
we yeah, 9 times out of 10 we don't listen. Yeah, no, but for real
We're
though,
joking.
everybody gives their part, and we take heed to that. And if it's not something that agreed upon, we don't do it. And that's another thing. We don't have issues in the band. We don't have drug addicts. We don't have alcoholics. We don't have none of that nonsense. Everybody is respectful to each other, and we love each other to death. I mean, we do.
That's fantastic. Drama-free is always wonderful.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we don't tolerate that too much.
Yeah. And we try to make sure that when we go to shows, that we go to shows with our best foot forward, and we don't give the production people a hard time or anything like that, because that's just not us. We roll with the punches. So if everything is not up to par, we're gonna figure it out on our own. We're gonna
That's
figure
it.
out what we're supposed to do.
That's right. We'll make it work.
Good.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
Now,
Do you
you
wanna
had mentioned... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Ask your question, Robin.
Oh, you had mentioned that you were making the circuit on jam nights. Is that like an open mic?
Yeah, in Nashville, there's so many of them. There's songwriter open mic nights, there's blues jams, there's jazz jams, but it's an opportunity where there's a house band that might, play for 30 minutes, and then they will start inviting players up.
Okay.
And you've got to be on your best,
You got to be
behavior and
ready.
chops, because the level of musicianship in Nashville is
Off the charts.
off the charts, probably the best in the world. And not saying that because we live here, but we've experienced it, and we've heard from other people that are moving here from LA, New York, Atlanta, and other places, that it's a whole other level here. And
Robert, you
so,
got over 750 people a day moving to Nashville, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I interviewed somebody from Nashville, Jeff Batson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's a songwriter and has music as well, and he said the same thing. Like Nashville is just it's big, like it's getting bigger, and it's just you move to Nashville knowing it's a competition. Like
Oh, you already know.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There was a night I was just thinking when you were talking about the level of talent at the jam nights. I went to one several years ago. Like it was kind of like in the middle years when we weren't playing, and I was kind of looking for new things to do. And I went to one and at Douglas Corner, and there were two drum sets set up on the stage facing each other at the front. I was like, okay, that's interesting and kind of cool. So there's more opportunities for drummers to play. So I went over and put my name on the list, and I know some of the people there. Well, long story short, two guys that I know in town got up there and just blew the place apart. And my jaw was just on the floor, and I just went right over the sheet and scratched my name
oh
out.
no,
Sure did. Sure did.
Yeah. We've all got
And shout
stories
out
like
to
that.
Marcus Finney and Dorico Watson, two bad boys.
Wow.
But like you said, we all got some stories like
Oh.
that. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
there's some real talent here in Nashville, man. And if you ain't up on your game, you could easily get eaten up and thrown out. I promise you.
That's it.
Well, and it can, it'll either humble you to the point that you might think, okay, I got to leave town,
Right.
or
Go home
it'll
and practice.
or go home and practice. Which when I came here, moved from Virginia Beach, where I'd been living for a few years, I thought I was the shit back in
Oh, yeah.
Virginia Beach, and I came here.
You
and was
probably
just,
were.
Well,
You know?
but I came here and was just like, holy cow, I got to practice.
Oh yeah. Oh
And we
yeah.
tease each other all the time about practice.
Yeah. But you know, if you ain't got your act together, it's just a pit stop. Because I promise you, you ain't gonna stick around long. I'm telling you.
Pit stop for real.
wow. I have not been to Nashville, but I definitely want to visit and see. Since, like I said, I've interviewed several people now, and it sounds really cool and everything. And I'm
What are you
not
doing
performing-
October 25th?
Um, nothing that I know of.
Well, we have our big CD release party here in Nashville. Come on down, hop on a plane.
There you
I
go.
could do that. I think Nashville's only like 6 hours away.
Yeah, it's an easy drive.
Drive or
Yeah.
direct flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could drive. 6 hours is nothing.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, maybe we'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing that we kind of glossed over, which you had mentioned, was like the last year and a half to 2 years. This band went from playing a couple nights a month and in local clubs and occasionally doing some private parties and getting asked to play out of town. And the last couple of years, we played a festival, a WC Handy Fest up in Henderson, Kentucky, and played in front of a few thousand people. Played mostly original material for a 90-minute set. Nobody knew us, and when we finished, we had a line of people at the merch booth waiting to buy our stuff and
Wow.
get autographs and things like that. And we kind of looked at each other and said, well, maybe we should test the waters and push this thing a little harder. And that's where, when you started talking about the awards, we went from the WC Handy Fest. We had people suggesting that we get involved in the International Blues Challenge, which is a 40-year thing, very much like The Voice, American Idol, but very specific to the blues. But you have industry judges, record producers, and veterans and things like that will look at your band and your music, and then you have to first win your regional, like we had to win Nashville, and then we moved on to Memphis, and then you want to tell them what happened when we went to Memphis, Al or Piper?
Well, we went down to Memphis basically just to go down and show our face and be a part of it, but not expecting to win anything or or nothing like that because we didn't want to be labeled. We really didn't want to be labeled as a competition band or
Mhm.
having to compete. That just don't even sound right. We here to just show our talent, enjoy, and meet new people. You know what I mean, and get our name out there. That was what it was all about. So when we went down and all of that started to happen, uh, uh, we won the first one, and
Okay.
then we went back to second night, won again, and now we on our way to the finals. And I got to say, there's a part I'm gonna leave out of this, but there was a situation with that whole week and leading up to the finals with me personally in my personal life. And what I mean by that is I got sick. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I got sick, and I was sick as I mean real bad sick. But we got to the finals, which the finals was on a Saturday. It was at the Orpheum. Got to the finals. We supposed to be at the finals at 11 o'clock. Check in is at 11 o'clock. I'm 10:30, 10:45, still laying in the fetal position in the shower. Can't get up.
Ooh.
And that's
Gee.
no joke. And I got 15 minutes to get there. So you get there and everything, and we get checked in and all that stuff. And I looked at the band just before we went on stage. I started to feeling better, and I looked at the band and I told them about to change your lives. And I really meant that. I really did. I really meant that, but I did not know it was going to be the way it really happened. Um, I knew I was going to go out there and give it all I got. I knew my band was already doing what they were supposed to do. They was already giving it all they got.
Mhm.
They've already stepped up to the plate, giving me that high energy. And they know when I say that high energy, they know what I'm talking about. Now I ain't gonna go there, but they know what I'm talking about. So they was already giving it to me. So I had no choice but to go out there and do it myself and give it to them as well. So before we walked out, we all stood around in a circle, and I looked at each one of them, and I told myself, "I'm about to change your life, and I'd be damned if we didn't go out there and win the whole thing."
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So
That's like a
that
movie.
trifecta. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And that trifecta you were speaking about, I want I don't harp on that too much, but since you brought it up earlier, I'm gonna say this: it's never been done. So
Okay.
being 40 some years or whatever, we're the only band that's done it.
Why,
And
why don't we tell them what it is?
well,
Because they don't know.
Yeah.
let's go. Go for it then.
Do you
No,
know what
no,
it
no.
is?
You
Yes.
go. You go.
Yeah, so we won that IBC competition, and then at the next year they award for the previous years for albums and so forth. So we got awarded at this year's IBC in January best self-produced album, and then every year in Memphis in May they do the Blues Music Awards, which is the genres Grammys kind of thing, um,
Sorry.
and our album Revelation that we made last year won Best Emerging Artist Album. So it was the IBC and then the Best Independent from IBC record, and then the BMA award for Best Emerging Artist Album. So that was the trifecta, as we were calling it. And like Piper said, nobody's done that. And so it set us off on a pretty good roll. And then the other thing that was really amazing and took us all by surprise was that um, Revelation, last year's album, debuted at #1 on Billboard Blues.
For 2 weeks.
Jeez, you guys are just killing it.
We've had a good run,
Yeah.
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 And the new record, Good Company, came out a few months ago, and that's starting to get out to radio and starting to chart now. And people can check that out, wherever they stream music, or if they want to download off of Bandcamp, or visit us at piperandthehardtimes.com for the physical copies.
Okay.
That we would be glad to sign for
Oh.
49.99.
But today, we
But
got a
today,
special running
but
today.
today we got a special going.
It's
Because
the
it's
Robin
Robin.
special.
Yeah, it's a Robin special. We'll do it for free.
Well, that is amazing. Now, tell us a story of, or something that happened that, you can look back and laugh now, but when it was happening, you guys were like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Like, it could be like you were at a show and something happened in the audience, or, you know,
Well,
Well,
I think really the biggest
the
was
biggest,
was what
just
Piper was just talking about that morning at IBC's, because I can just tell you from he gave it from his perspective, but from the band's perspective, we had put in a fair amount of time getting to Memphis, through the Nashville competition. And then a fair amount of money was spent on our behalf from the Nashville Blues and Roots Alliance to send us there. And we had rammed through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And like you said, now it's Saturday morning. And I woke up to a phone call from Steve, and he said, "We got a problem." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Piper's down. He's sick." I said, "What do you mean he's sick? He's down." Like I'd seen him at 2 a.m. the night before. What could have happened? And basically the pipes had burst in Memphis, and it was dead of winter, super cold week, and we were on water boil advisory, and we think he got tainted water.
But they no thinking.
That's
That definitely was no thinking. But I have to say, when Steve and Dave found out, I don't think the rest of the band really knew. So when we was in the green room, majority of the band is looking around saying, "Is Piper got his crap together? Like, is he going to be okay? Like, what is going on with this guy?
Yeah,
is he nervous?"
Robin, he was head down on the table like this, and
that's not me. They know that's not me.
I was just like, okay, well, we're done. Like, we're out. I don't even think we're playing today. Yeah. Forget about even having a chance. So to answer your question, we've had some other funny stuff and odd things, and on gigs and all that, as you do. But that was truly like, and for him to turn it around, come out and perform like he did, and then for us to take the prize home, it was pretty astounding, really.
Yeah. That is. Piper, did you sleep for like days after it was over?
No. Actually, it's crazy. I don't ever try to bring religion into, but I'm very thankful, and I thank God and everything. But basically, the situation was, I was there with my head down on the table. I was one of the first ones that got there, even though we were supposed to be there at 11 o'clock, and I still ended up beating the rest of my band. Don't know how that happened, but I got there. I had my head down on the table. I remember Steve coming, bringing me some fruits and stuff like that, okay, at the table. And he's asking me questions like, how am I doing, what's going on, and all this and that. To them, they thought I was nerves, like my nerves was jacked up. No one really knew about the water until I told Steve, because I realized I was drinking bad water. So when they found out about that, it's coming out both ends. And when I'm telling you it's coming out both ends, Robin.
All right.
So is that enough?
I don't think we
is
need
that
to go
enough?
there.
Is that
That's
enough? That's enough.
So her question was, did you sleep after the event?
Well, I did not sleep after the event because I was so excited. I was so excited that I totally forgot how sick I was. I'm running around trying to tell people I got the #1 blues band in the country. I don't give a rat's butt about nothing else,
And speaking of sleeping, after when we were out in Memphis in May, we won that Blues Music Award. As you do at these shows, you get a nice trophy, And so we were, most of the band was the whole band was in Airbnb, and Piper and his wife were in a hotel. And so
you know this, huh? I know exactly what you're about to say, dude.
Steve's early riser, so when I got up and we're catching up in the morning, like, wow, what an evening. That was crazy, And I said, has anyone spoken to Piper? And he said, yeah, I talked to him. He said he hasn't slept. I said, what do you mean he hasn't slept? I'm thinking like he went out like partying all night. He said, no. He said he slept with the trophy, and he kept waking up and looking at it and crying.
I did. That's no lie, dude. I'm serious, man. Like it was a newborn baby. Like I'm just cuddling it in the bed, My wife is on the other side of me, expecting for me to be holding on to her, and I'm holding on to this freaking trophy, dude. Like, nah, it ain't going out. Yeah. It was amazing. It was amazing.
I haven't seen it since.
Yeah,
no, we haven't seen it since.
And we all said we was going to take our moments with them, right?
Yeah, we talked about doing it like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Stanley Cup. Which we need to. We should. We really should. But I want you to know it's at my house, safe and sound. And I'm very thankful. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. When we went to the BMAs, now, I don't know what they was thinking, but I'm pretty sure we was all in the same thoughts of not going down here to win anything. We was just going because we was invited to be there. And then we found out that we was invited to do a song or two on stage. So get the band together. We go down, and now we at the event, and we doing the event and everything. But there's certain people they calling up on stage for awards or for announcements or whatever. And you hear one guy, and I love him to death. It's Brooks, Ronnie Baker Brooks. Ronnie goes up there, and this is what Ronnie says in so many words. Ronnie's been doing this since he was 14 years old or younger. So
Mhm.
that means if anybody that knows anything about the BMAs or about the blues and blah blah blah, his dad, him and his brother, they lived it, they did it. Okay. Now,
Okay.
Ronnie been to this award show several times, several years. So he gets up there and he says, "It's about time. It's about time that
He was
he's
nominated
finally
so many
nominated,
times
so
and
nominated,
finally
finally
won.
win."
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So he said it's about time. So we knew. I looked in and said, "Okay, we're not winning nothing. You can cancel it." So you go through that and you hear him say what he has to say, and then there's another guy that comes up. What's my bass player's name? The older gentleman. The older guy. They kept recognizing him. Oh, wow, I
We're
can't think of his
striking
name.
out. I don't know
I
what
know I
you
can't
got.
think of his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it doesn't matter. They kept calling his name as well, and he was saying the same thing about how long it takes to be recognized, and the things that you have to go through and endure to get recognized at the BMAs and blah blah blah. And let me
Mhm.
tell you, and then they called our name, and
Wow.
when they called our name, it's just something that went through me, man. It let me know right then and there that Al Piper, we have something special. We as the Hard Times truly have something really special that the crowd wants to hear. They love us. They accepted us. Now we're part of this blues family. Now,
Yeah.
we're here. And I had to truly be thankful. I had to be humble, and I am humble. I mean, I'm very thankful for how far we have came, and the awards that we have won, the accolades we have gotten. I'm very thankful for that, and I can't say it enough. I love my whole entire band, even though they're not here today. But I love them. I love each and every last one of them to death. They have no idea how much I love them.
Shout out to Parker Hawkins and Amy Frederick. We call them PH Funk Stick and the Professor. Although we've
Oh.
modified now, it's Professor Millionaire.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
Reason being, so our keys player Amy, uh, she got nicknamed the Professor because she's a very musicologist type. She knows all the chords, as I like to say, and and
Yeah,
then
she'll tell you in a heartbeat. No, that ain't it.
that's not that note's not in the chord.
That's not in the chord.
I
That's
know
not
you're
that.
singing it's not in the chord.
That's not in there.
Yeah, so she's on it, and so she got nicknamed Professor. But then, ironically, earlier this year, she got offered an actual professor position at Austin P University here in Clarksville, and so
Oh.
we were laughing about that. And she said, "Well, I think that Piper manifested a professor role for me. So if you don't mind, I'd like to be called Millionaire." So we
Oh.
just tacked it on. So we call her Professor Millionaire now.
Well, there you go. Um, what was I gonna ask you? So, it's time for one of my fun questions. I like to ask different questions. So,
Great, let's
Okay.
go.
if it was the end of the world and you could only save one inanimate object, what would it be?
Oh, that's a fun question, isn't it?
Wow.
One inanimate object.
Wow.
Hmm.
I got mine.
I know mine.
Go
What's
ahead.
yours?
Okay.
I think I know what yours is too.
Yeah. So when I was 16 years old, and I'd been playing guitar for 5 years, I had only owned like really cheap beginner guitars, and my parents knew that I was madly in love with the instrument. And they went out and found in Akron, Ohio, they found a 1969 Fender Strat, and
Wow.
they didn't have the money. My dad worked his butt off. My mom worked part time, and but somehow they scraped together the money to buy that guitar for me that I still own and played for years. It was my main guitar in this band, and
Wow.
that's what I would take easily.
There you
Okay.
go.
What about you?
I'm gonna take a pair of my favorite drumsticks because
Okay.
as these guys know, I'm often in the van or whatever, just constantly as drummers do with the stick. And I may not have drums with me or cymbals or whatever, but you got sticks, you can feel like you're playing drums. So that's what I would take.
You
I
know,
can't wait to hear this.
I don't rightly know. I'm sitting here thinking
It's
and
gonna
thinking.
it's gonna be that metal BMA baby, I would
You know,
think.
well,
It's
I
going
have
to
to
be
say,
that award. I
well,
mean, we all know that.
I was honestly, I was about to say maybe my wireless microphone, but I don't need that. My voice projects loud enough as it is. Um, and then I got to thinking maybe a guitar because I've always wanted to learn to play the guitar. But I'm gonna say this: I think I've already got it. and I think it would be just me taking my voice. Um, my voice is my instrument. My voice is my diamond piece. My voice it's it. It's just what it is. And I think I have a unique voice, and I had to really start to learning this just recently. Me being the age I am and where we at today, I had to learn that my voice has a unique style. My voice is very unique, and when you hear me sing, you know it's Piper. After, like, say you listen to my album and then you come hear me live, or you standing outside and you ain't seen me yet, you're gonna automatically know that's Piper. That's not such and such, or he doesn't sound like such and such. I have my own unique style and I do my own thing. So I'm gonna say me. I'm gonna say me, my voice.
You know what
Okay.
that means, though? No hats.
Huh? Oh, let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back.
Okay.
Let me go back. Let me go back. I just thought about something. Hold up. Hold up. I forgot about my hats, girl. I gotta take my
Okay.
hats, Robin.
All right,
Robin, I got.
that's fair. I'll accept the hats. Now, do you find so how what's it like now? Do you guys find that people are now venues, places are now calling you to book you as opposed to early on when you had to call a bunch of places, try and get booked,
Still think it's both,
stuff
don't
like
you?
that.
It,
I think it's both.
it's starting to happen. It's given all the great things that have happened and all the hard work that has paid off. You probably know this from what you do, is that festivals, bigger events, and bigger venues do not want to deal directly with the artist. They want to deal with a manager or a booking agent.
Yeah.
But we have an agent. We have a booking agent now, and so it is getting easier for sure because we're constantly in the press. We're working on our social media. The awards help, the press, and all that. But yeah, it's getting easier for sure.
I mean, Robin, you do know you talking to the one of the best blues bands in the country. Like we talking like in the
I
top.
realize that.
Wait, hold on.
I
You
have to
made a
ask
big
these
thing about saying
questions.
how
Oh,
humble
wait,
you
wait,
are.
wait,
Yeah.
wait, 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 wait,
He
hold
thought
on.
he's humble. Didn't you hear how humble? He's so humble.
So humble. But I have to ask these questions.
No, it's
Yes.
all
No,
good.
People
It's
that
all, I'm
listen
just
to a
picking. I'm just
podcast,
having fun.
you
Just
know,
having
it
fun.
gives them something, it gives them something to shoot for,
No, I
you
totally
know.
understand. Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot of work. I mean, there's one thing that I think has humbled me a bit with all of this is that, and we've learned this from some of the blues artists and the rock artists that we've gotten to know
Hmm.
in over the last couple of years as we've toured, is that our rise has been very quick, and we've had things happen faster than most, but it's still an uphill battle.
Oh
It's
yeah.
still a climb, that we have to be patient, but you can't just sit back and think, oh, we've won a bunch of awards and we've done this and that, and the phone isn't going to ring. There's so much great talent out there around the country and around the world that
Hmm.
there's always another band that's poking through, that's getting somebody's attention. And so we have to work really hard with PR, with social media, writing music, constantly coming out with new stuff.
But that's you
So
too. I give you guys credit. I'm behind the scenes kind of guy. Y'all call me up, y'all tell me where I'm supposed to be, and I show up and I do what I'm doing. And that's being honest, Robin. That's about the size of it. But these two guys, along with a couple of other people that's on our team, I have to say, hands down, has got it, man. I love them. They take the control, they take the steering wheel, and they go for it. Steve handles so much behind the scenes that is ridiculous. Dave is our social media guy, and his plate is just as full. So when I take my hat off to you guys, I want y'all to know, man, I truly, truly appreciate you both.
thank you, man.
I
Thank
really,
you.
really do.
Very
I
cool.
really do.
So,
We appreciate you a long time.
if you
Sorry,
guys
Robin.
weren't in
Sorry.
music, oh no, that's okay. If you guys weren't in music, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, Steve knows. Ooh. I know what I would be doing.
What's that?
So me, I would be a farmer and I would be working a 9 to 5. I would probably be a manager somewhere, someplace like Firestone or something like that. And I
Okay.
would probably be, and I would be a farmer because I own a farm as we speak now. So when you hear "Working Farm Blues," that's a true song. Even Cowboy Gucci or Those Days and all those kind of songs. All those songs are originally original music, and they're all true. So I have a farm, so I would say me be farming and working a 9 to 5 is what I'd be doing.
Right on.
Now, your farm, do you have animals?
Yes, ma'am. I have wagyu cows, and I have horses, chickens, and pigs, and I have 2 fish ponds.
Wow. Okay.
So we sell beef, we sell pork, we sell USDA and non-USDA. So if you ever need anything, just reach out. It's all good. Got you.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I can't meet my meat. I have to not meet it, or if I meet it, then they get named, and yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
Well,
Yeah.
Understood.
I ship to you, so don't stress. You ain't got to come look at it. You just tell me
Okay.
what you want, and I got you. But go ahead, y'all. Tell me what would you do, Dave?
That's a great question and a hard question for me because I mean I do some other things too. My wife and I have a boutique little manufacturing business of dog products and I have other interests, creative interests and outdoors interests and that kind of thing. But really, as far as like, what would you do? Like, what was your calling? What was your profession? What do you want to do? I want to be a drummer since I was old enough to take lessons. It was just like that's all I wanted to do was play drums, much to my family's chagrin. But I just couldn't shake it. So I don't know. I would probably have ended up in something else creative.
You shouldn't be tech.
We're like,
Or sports.
totally, yeah. These guys know I would have been a tech guru or a killer athlete, and that is said with all of the sarcasm
Yes.
it sounds like.
I think if I couldn't play guitar and do what we're doing now, I would still have to be involved in music. I couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
But I think like as I've gotten older, I would like to do something in music where I would be working with like inner city kids or underprivileged kids to teach them about music and how it
Okay.
can be an outlet for them to get away from video games and stay off the streets and stuff like that.
That's
That
cool.
That is cool.
that's I mean that's
I've been singing to the animals,
There you go.
yeah.
singing to Daisy,
Serenade Daisy.
serenade Daisy. I got a cow named Daisy. You could just my wife bottle fed her, so she's spoiled, and around the other cows, she doesn't take to them, and they don't really take to her. To be honest with you, she hangs out by herself constantly all the time, but all the animal knows when my wife goes out there and she calls Daisy name, they know Daisy's about to get treats. So that means all of them come. You see what I'm saying? Even though they don't want to be around her, but they know she's the one.
Yeah.
You know. And Daisy's spoiled rotten. She's just like a dog. You call her by her name, she comes, runs up to you, and hangs out and lays
That's
next
so
to you
fun.
and all that stuff. And she's a full grown cow.
Oh, fun fact. Did you know cows moo in different accents?
Yes, I do.
Really, I did not know
Uh-huh.
that.
Yes, I do.
My daughters and I learned that years ago. Um, I don't know why, but we had heard it and we're like, really? So we looked it up, and yes, depending on where they live or what country they live in, their moo is different.
Yeah, it sure is.
Wow.
It makes sense. I was
Yeah.
on Instagram the other day on our business page, and there's a family in Japan that has a couple, 3 or 4 Frenchies, and they wear our collars. And the audio was on, and I'm listening to this woman speak to the dogs in Japanese, and the same kind of thing occurred to me. I was like, they'll learn anything, the dog.
As long as you
Oh,
teach
You,
them.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
I don't
sense.
understand that, but the dog does.
Dog does. Dog does. You know, and that's and
We
you know
used to
that's
have a dog.
you know how people want
Yeah,
to say
I mean, we
dumb
used to
animals.
have a dog, and I was training her. It was a black lab, and we got her from a family, and I was training her, and just, whew, she was hard-headed. Very good dog, but super hard-headed, and nothing was working. So I was in the kitchen one day cooking, and she kept nudging me because she wanted to go out, but even as a puppy, she was big. So her nudges were like a full-blown, like, pushover. So I put my hand out to get her to stop, and she immediately sat down. And I was like, wait a minute. So so I looked up some hand signals and stuff. She was fantastic with hand signals. my daughters were learning Spanish in school, and when they came home and they were like, "This is what we learned today," and they, you know, spouted out all this Spanish, our dog understood Spanish and listened better in Spanish than in English.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. And
And
my dad was,
she wasn't like rehomed to you from a Spanish speaking family, was she?
well, see, that's what we were trying to figure out because the family that had her before us, I mean, she was little, barely 2 months old, and they had just gotten her, but they both ended up with promotions that was going to cause them to travel a lot. So they didn't figure it was going to be fair to a puppy to always be gone.
That's true.
So we got her from them, and I cannot recall for the life of me if they spoke Spanish or if the breeder maybe was, I don't know.
Huh.
And my dad did not believe it whatsoever. So when they came to visit, the girl spoke strictly Spanish to our dog. And she did all the commands, all the tricks, all the everything. My dad's like, I'll be damned.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
They
That's
they know
fascinating.
what's up.
Yeah.
And they train us. Well, you know, like we have some dog trainer friends, and they always say the same thing. You know, I don't train dogs; I train
I train
people.
the people. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
how I was
Because
here.
like you said about the hand thing, like you know, especially smart dogs, you know, they want to engage and respond.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to walk them through it.
And I thought, all this time yelling, I could have been just silent and just put my hand out.
Amen.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give? Um, you probably get asked this a lot, but what advice would you give um, up up and coming artists or someone just starting out?
Wow. Me personally, I would just say don't give up on your dream. I'm a living advocate. I mean, don't give up on your dream. You know, no matter what someone tells you. You know, my kids. I have two kids. I have a son and a daughter, and my daughter. I've never heard her say it, but I think I do recall my son saying, "Just give it up. Give it up.
Mhm.
Go to work. Work 9 to 5. You know, blah blah blah." And I remember him now, not remembering, but I I know he made a comment to me when I was in the hospital not too long ago. He made a comment to me saying that you are my and Puba's, meaning my daughter. My daughter's name is Allie. You are our inspiration. You have taught us to not give up on your dream and to just stick to your grind. And he basically said some positive words to me that really made me feel good and to let me know that there was times that I almost gave up. I mean, Steve brought up a point earlier, and we don't have to go all the way back through it. But when he talked about the WC Handy Fest, there's a part that Steve left out in that, and what there was after we did that show, we got a standing ovation, and I mean thousands of people standing ovation, and then the city councilman was standing at the stage waiting on us to come off, saying that he wanted to book us for the following year.
Wow, that's great.
Steve looks at me and says, "If I quit my corporate gig, would you be willing to do this full time? Mean do music full time?"
Hmm.
Well, I'm working a 9 to 5 job. So now I'm having to think about this and go to my wife and explain that, Steve is willing to take this full on and quit his corporate gig, which I know, not, I don't know how much this man makes, but I know this corporate gig wasn't shabby. It wasn't no, it wasn't no throwaway money. So for him to come up with this idea and wanting to do this was big on himself, not just on the rest of the band, was huge on him alone. So
Hmm.
I talked to my wife about it. My wife, she agrees. She says, well, if this is something you guys really want to do, I'm all about it. And this is where we are today. And if it weren't for Steve doing what he did, we never wouldn't be where we are today.
Well, if you know, you know, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, from an advice standpoint, thank you for that very much. And but it takes a team. So, I think the other piece of advice and I was just talking to somebody at Aaron's party Sunday night about this, who is putting a band together. They're in their mid 20s, and they were asking me the same thing, like, what advice would you give? We know you guys are doing really well. And my first thing I said was surround yourself with good people,
Good people,
people you
man.
can trust,
Positive people.
people you
Yeah.
can be artistic with, you can write with, that you can perform on stage with. There's got to be a chemistry, and you got to be willing to work, and stick to it. But I think surrounding yourself with good people and a good team, it's challenging because musicians are an interesting bunch, and they can be a little flaky and difficult, and we're so emotionally attached to our craft, that you have to be able to put a business hat on and be smart about what you do and things like that. So,
And it's
and
not just a band. It's your family. Excuse me. Your family has to be a part of this. If your family is not on with you on this, you're not going to get far. You're going to either lose your family and turn your back on them, or or something, in that
Yeah.
situation,
It's
because
got to work.
your family, everything has to work like clockwork. If it
Mhm.
doesn't work like that, you're going to have major issues either with the band or at home, and you don't want neither one of those. So
Right.
with that being said, it takes a lot from the family as well to be able to agree and say, hey, I agree with you, I'm on the page with you, to be able to do these things, because that means you're not going to be at home. You're not going to be at
Right.
home if you're doing really what you're supposed to do. You're not going to be at home. You're going to be out here trying to make it happen and work. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any advice?
Yeah. I would say simply make sure you love it.
Hmm.
Depending on what your dream is and what you're doing, the different specifics in terms of like music and what we do. Um, be eyes open about, if to the extent you can, about all the stuff that isn't pretty and glorious, like
Yeah.
playing shows, because the show is about 90 minutes, and then there's another 22 and a half hours in that day, and it's van and it's hotel and it's trying to find food
Trying to
and it's
find food.
being
Yeah,
tired.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of unglamorous stuff,
True.
Hmm.
so make sure that you love it, because I think what happens to most of us, I know it happens for me, even if the ride was rough, and like Ali Piper was talking about, the production is, maybe the team isn't up to par or whatever, you hit all these hurdles and obstacles, but if the gig is good and the magic happens, which if depending on your group, it will, that you forget about all that. It's just like it just washes it away, and then you had that like rush of the show and the fun, and then it gets you onto the next thing. But for younger people, or whoever's trying to do this, just make sure you really love the actual time that you get to do what you do, because it is a smaller percentage than we'd like of overall time.
yeah,
Well, people see us on stage and they think we just living this glamorous life and all this and that.
we're
When it's
not.
not, it's not
What do you
like
mean it's not
that.
glamorous?
Listen, we know what age we are, and I'm gonna be honest with you, we're very thankful to be able to do what we do. But this living
At
on the road,
25, we're doing pretty
I
well,
know.
I
man.
mean, living on the freaking road a lot, man. It's I put it to you this way: you better make sure you can get along with your company. You better make sure you can get along with your peoples, because if you can't get along, being in a tight ass van or on a tour bus or all this and that, or in cars and all this and that, you guys are not going to make it far.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
you got to get along. You got to get along. And I'll tell you something else, and I'm just going to say it and I'll leave it alone, and you can say whatever you got to say. But we know what happens when it comes to bands and being on tour and all this and that, with the drug scene and alcohol scene and all that. Guys, that ain't gonna get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. That ain't gonna get it. You're gonna break yourself before you make it. You know what I mean? You're gonna hurt yourself before you get started good. So what I suggest is just keep that shit to a minimum. I can't ever tell nobody what to do and what not to do. But I'm gonna just say this: I'm thankful for my band, who I have, because my band is not that group. We don't do that shit. We don't deal with none of that. We enjoy life. My guys may have a few beers from time to time. I love my Crown Royal. I'll be the first to tell you, but we're solid.
But in its time and place.
It's
Yes.
solid. We're
Yeah.
solid. I love these. I love these crooked jokers. I love them. I love them.
That's awesome. Now, social media. Um,
That's Dave.
how can people find you? Where can people find you?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And
As
if you put in Piper and the Hard Times into any of those, you're gonna find us.
okay.
I think all the handles, pretty sure every one of
except for
them
X.
is. Yeah, we're not doing the X.
What's the X? Is there
Twitter,
such thing as
the
X?
former
Twitter.
Yeah, we stay. We're not.
Oh, we're
we're
gonna
not,
start tweeting here soon, Robin. Don't worry, we're gonna be tweeting next week, girl. No.
Nope, not doing that.
Yeah, and it's Piper. It's spell out the and. So just at Piper and the Hard Times and any of the social media, you'll find us.
Okay. And you guys have a website. What's your website?
Same, piperandthehardtimes.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have upcoming shows?
Yes.
Yeah, we got.
You got
Yes.
plenty.
So,
Okay, so tell me.
so October 24th,
Which
We
you are
are-
truly invited.
we are going to Bolivar, Tennessee, which is this guy's hometown, to play the bicentennial celebration. And then the very next night, October
10.
25th, we are having our CD release show here in Nashville at a place called Fox and Lock, which is on the far west side, out in the beautiful horse country of Nashville.
Leapers Fork area.
And then after that, we've got a run down in Birmingham and Tallahassee, and then by mid-November, we're kind of done for the year, and because that's pretty common, and we plan on writing songs at that point and seeing what we come up with, and
Maybe you get some new material out of us.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, you know.
we need to write a song about Robin.
Oh, I got one already.
Oh, no.
No,
We can incorporate the Spanish dog.
yeah.
We could do that. We could do that.
There was Spanish
Robert, we
Moon.
all about stuff like
There's
that.
Spanish Moon by the Neville Brothers.
By the Neville Brothers?
right?
Little Feet.
Little Feet.
Yeah.
Is that who
So
it was?
we have Spanish Dog.
Okay.
Yellow
Okay.
Moon was.
Yeah, Yellow Moon.
Yellow
yeah,
Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, Robin.
All right, I can't wait to hear the song. Now, yeah, that's what I see in the music industry. Things get kind of quiet, around November or so, and then things pick back up big time.
Yeah.
In the spring, which makes sense for travel reasons, weather, holidays.
All that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did y'all tell him we was up for a Grammy? Maybe possibility.
Oh, we
then-
didn't mention. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we are in the pool we have been submitted in the best contemporary blues category for our second record, Good Company. So in a couple of weeks, the nominations will be announced, and like everybody else, we are hopeful as could be.
Well, the thing is, what we're trying to find out from you, Robin, if you know any people in the group called Naris, do you know any Naris people?
Because we
I
need
do
those
not.
votes.
We need those votes, Robin. We need them votes bad.
I don't, but I'm out there, so we'll see what happens.
Send us,
Alright.
send us a good vibe.
Send us the
Yep.
good vibes for sure.
I absolutely will. All right. I had one more question for you guys. Since you've been playing like everywhere, but if you could play, it's a two-parter, anywhere in the world, and with somebody, whether they're dead or alive, where and with who?
Oh, I got mine.
I got mine.
Wow. All right. Well, you guys go. I got to think about this.
So where I would like to play is two places.
Mm-hmm.
Three. One, downtown Nashville on this billboard that splits between West End and downtown Nashville. My
Okay.
second place would be SNL.
Oh,
And my
okay.
third place would be, I love WC Handy, so I'm going to say WC Handy Fest.
Okay.
With who? Who? would
Now,
be-
with who? Um,
You better answer this right.
my man, the polka dot, the black guy with the polka dots,
Buddy
Guy.
Guy.
buddy guy, and I would love to do something either with maybe somebody. And I'm gonna change the game up a little bit because my guys ain't gonna like this one, but maybe somebody like
Maybe dead or alive.
maybe like somebody like Jelly Roll or something,
Oh, okay. He's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Next.
All right. So mine's easy. Royal Albert Hall with Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
Okay.
That's easy.
All right.
All
And
right.
Dave.
All right. I'm gonna set this up nicely. I got a good one for it.
Okay.
All right. So I was trying to figure this out. So my desert island venue, as they say, would be probably Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
being from that area and seeing shows there as a kid, that to me is just a really special venue. And what I would like to do would be to play there with our band and have Paul McCartney join us.
Oh my
Oh,
God! Yes,
Okay.
yes,
That's what I would.
Wow.
yes.
All right.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Because I was Beatles kid, and that was really like the first music that just kind of. And then a alternate choice would be for me would be Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
I was thinking you were going to say Bruce.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
I'll take either one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. Well, I'll have to tag this, the clip of the video appropriately so these people can see that you're talking about them.
Please,
Yeah,
for
because
sure, please.
I'm certain they're going to dial us.
Yeah.
Immediately.
They're gonna call us immediately.
Yeah.
You're going to
And
be
we'll-
like, oh my God, they're on the other side of music.
yeah. And
You
you
got to
can
reach
handle
out.
the-
But
and
you
we'll-
never know. Stranger things happen, right?
Absolutely.
And Robin will have
Absolutely.
you handle all the negotiations. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, we
I'm
make sure
good.
you get that fee.
Oh, I will.
Robin, it's been nice to talk to you. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I've enjoyed this interview very much. Thank you guys for being on here today. And everyone, they said their social media. Go check them out. Check out their website. If you're in the area or like to travel, go see them. And is there anything else you guys would like to add?
Get the new record, Good Company. It's
There you go.
out. Get
Please.
the new record. It's
Yeah.
on. It's everywhere. It's on every.
Social media platform.
No.
Oh,
Please.
streaming service. Streaming platform. Sorry. I'm horrible with
Even
social
I
media.
knew what to say.
I'm horrible. But
We
please,
give
everybody,
him such a hard time.
everybody
Good
pick it
company.
up. Good
Good
company.
company.
Good company, please. It's
All
out
right.
there. Came out August the 29th. So please, if you don't have it, pick it up. And here's another thing. If you're not following us, hit the follow button. Piper in the Hard Times. We love you guys. Thank y'all so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. It was a pleasure.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye, Robin.